What was the moment you realized your school was covering something up? I used to think my high school was just quirky. The rules were strict, sure, but I figured that's what made it disciplined. Phones were banned, every backpack had to be searched, and we weren't allowed to stay in the halls between classes for more than 30 seconds. Teachers brushed off questions with, "Don't worry about it, just focus on your work." At first, it didn't bother me. I liked structure, but then things started getting weird. It began with my friend Daniel. One day, he just stopped coming to school. No warning, no goodbye, nothing. When I asked around, teachers said he'd transferred, but his family still lived in town. I saw his mom in the grocery store and asked how Daniel liked his new school. She looked at me like I was speaking another language. "Daniel still goes to your school?" she said. "Why would you ask that?" My stomach dropped. Over the next few months, more kids disappeared. Always the same story. They transferred. But when you asked their families, they were just as confused as Daniel's mom. The strangest part? None of them were ever mentioned again. No yearbook photos, no announcements, no trace they'd ever been there. It was like the school erased them. I started digging. During study hall, I snuck into the main office and rifled through the filing cabinets. Student records were supposed to be there, but the drawers were practically empty. Whole classes were missing, names crossed out, entire folders gone. I knew I had to be careful, so I kept quiet until the day it happened to me. I was called to the principal's office out of nowhere. Sitting across from him felt like being in an interrogation room. He told me they'd discovered serious academic concerns, and that maybe this school wasn't the right fit for me anymore. I argued I had straight A's, perfect attendance, even extracurriculars. None of it mattered. When I got home that night, my parents were waiting, furious. They'd gotten a call saying I'd been expelled for cheating. I begged them to believe me, but the school had already mailed a thick folder of evidence-fake test papers, doctored assignments, signatures that weren't mine. My parents were devastated. That's when I realized this wasn't about me failing. This was the system covering its tracks. They'd been quietly kicking kids out to manipulate their success statistics. Anyone who didn't fit the perfect image was erased and replaced. I never went back. My parents transferred me to a public school across town, where I finally felt like a normal student again. But to this day, when I drive past that old building, I wonder what happened to all the others who transferred. Because if I hadn't caught them in the act, I would have just been another name crossed out.